Coming up next on the Deco Show, we give an update on DecoNetwork version 7.5. We give you a pretty awesome preview of the new web page management tools in DecoNetwork version 8. Plus, we have a new co-host and a very special announcement. All that and more coming up on the Deco Show. The Deco Show is brought to you by DecoNetwork, business software for printers and embroiderers. To find out more, visit DecoNetwork.com. It's time for the Deco Show, episode 9, recorded March 21st, 2017. I'm Brenden, product manager and evangelist at DecoNetwork, and we're back. We've had a bit of a break from the show. We had our heads down working on a thousand and a million things. And as always, I'm joined by our friend, the general manager at DecoNetwork America, Mietek in Atlanta. How you doing, America? I called you America then. How you doing, Mietek?
I hope America is doing fine, and I'm doing fine as well. How are you, Brenden?
I was good. We were meant to do this at 11:30 a.m. my time, and we decided to do it at 5 o'clock. So I'm a little bit tired, but I'm getting there.
I'm definitely not going to complain about it since it's 2:40 p.m. for me, so I'm fine. Sorry, being a little bit selfish on this one.
That's the way it always is, but part of the fun. And you might recognize that giggle in the background. We've got some exciting news. We have a brand new co-host of the Deco Show, Mr. Erich Campbell. G'day, Eric.
Hello, Brenden. Yes, I am now a permanent co-host, it seems. I'm afraid I can't be a guest anymore, but I will certainly try and fulfill this role ably as I can. Yeah, I can certainly talk enough.
We're now contractually obligated to be really nice to you now and not give you a hard time. So,
oh, that's not true.
Actually, that was just a little bit of false hope I was giving you there. We're going to give you more of a hard time now that you're a permanent seat.
Now I'm here and I'm in the team. I think that all the trouble is mine. Yeah, I'm ready.
Absolutely. And as you probably noticed, Eric is wearing a blue hat because you've got some more exciting news to share, Eric.
Yes. Well, I am this is the official title, so everybody prepare yourself, the Partner Relationship Manager for DecoNetwork. Now, what this means is I am empowered to discuss things with our partners, to get people together and foster these relationships, partner and relationship being in the title and all. But also I'm going to help with the educational directives. We're doing webinars, podcasts like this one, videos, and other sorts of materials that are going to help people out, both our customers and hopefully our future customers and everybody in the industry, which is what I have been doing. But now I'm doing it with DecoNetwork behind me.
Yeah. I think it's a perfect role for you. I mean, you are Mr. Decoration Industry. You're infamous and famous at the same time, and people love to hear your knowledge and you're passionate about what you do. So, yeah, welcome to the team. Great to have you on board.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's a perfect pairing, and I've heard that so many times in the last couple of days since it's been announced that I certainly believe myself. This is where I belong. So I'm happy to be home.
Sure.
Brenden, if you're planning to do a bit of editing to this podcast, I think it's time for some good background music.
Yeah.
Down. Big news. Really excited. I would ask you, Eric, about the weather in Albuquerque, but you're actually here right next to me. So it's really great to have you here in the office this week. I think everyone in the office is really excited to have you on board and will benefit from it. And that's how it is. We learn from each other, and we will continue this journey together. Really super excited, and I'm excited for our clients as well as for our prospects in the future, because they may learn a lot from it, and I hope they will.
Well, honestly, I'm super excited too. It's been great being here, and I've been learning a lot from the team. And frankly, it's really cool to be on the team. This is a team of people who not only are they passionate about what they do, they're good at what they do, they're knowledgeable, and they share a lot. Everybody talks here. It's honest, it's good conversation, and the ideas just get bigger and better when we do that. So it's great to be here on the team, even if I did just steal your office to do the podcast. But I made myself.
It only took 2 days. 2 days. That's all it took.
2 days, and I'm already trying to move into his office. I swear. Yeah. But no, it's been really cool to be here, and I like being at the office. It's been a really cool fun. And for 2 days, for 2 days, I'm already geeked. I'm already excited. It's awesome. So I can't imagine how going forward how great this journey is going to be for everybody. And honestly, I can't wait not only to teach people, but I can't wait to learn. There's so much more to do in this new role, and I'm really excited to be here.
Very cool. Well, yeah, I mean, it's certainly an honor to have you on board, Eric, and I know we're going to have a lot of fun in the coming months, particularly when we get down to the product side and we start, thinking about and developing some new ideas for our clients. That's where the real fun goes.
For sure.
Alrighty, well, we better get on with it. Yeah, like we said, we're back from a bit of a break, and our plan is to keep rolling out these podcasts in every couple of weeks. So head over to our website, which is DecoNetwork.com/TheDecoShow. We'll be posting this show and future shows there as well. And if you get any ideas or tips on what you'd like to see on the show as well, reach out to us. You can find Eric. He's all over the internet. Give him a ping and let us know where we're going to go, and we'll be happy to build some topics around what you'd like to see as a part of what we're doing in the Deco Show. Alrighty, so a bit of an update, I guess, where we are before we jump into some really cool and exciting things to show you in some upcoming releases. A bit of an update on DecoNetwork version 7.5. So 7.5 was officially launched in Long Beach just back in January at the ISS trade show. And we've currently got it rolled out to brand new clients who are signing up to DecoNetwork. And we have about over 250 active clients on beta at this time. And we're upgrading people slowly as we go along and test the new platform. One of the major changes we've done in version 7.5 is we've redesigned our graphics engine. We now use our own internal engine, an SVG engine that we've designed. In the past, we were heavily relying on the CorelDRAW application. And part of this transition change from the CorelDRAW to the SVG is we get some translation issues, I guess, between certain designs and clip art. So we have been very cautious about as we upgrade and move clients across. And we have been quite selective about the sort of users that we want on the beta program. So we know there's a lot of people out there who are super keen and hungry to get their hands on version 7.5. And we're certainly upgrading people on an ongoing basis. And really, if you're not really using CorelDRAW or a lot of stock art or clip art, and that pretty much is brand new clients starting off, they don't have any templates that they've already created. So brand new clients can jump straight into it. But existing clients with large libraries, we have been holding back that update just while we can get those final testing in place, just really to be completely cautious. Because the last thing we want, of course, is, we push it live and there's a production issue or your business comes to a halt. One of our primary keys in DecoNetwork is to still keep you printing. So we're just being really, really cautious in that space. So a bit of an update there, but the feedback so far has been really good. Universal search has been one of the top features that people are really loving. And I think Mietek will be touching a little bit on that when he gives his tip on DecoNetwork coming up in just a moment. So I thought I'd give you a bit of an update on where we are in that space. Another big change which we've done, which I'll get Mietek to talk a little bit about as well, is our brand new help website. That's been a really important improvement as a part of version 7.5. So one of the major hurdles or stumbles, I guess, of learning any system is having documentation or help on hand. So a major part of version 7.5 is we now have people dedicated to creating ongoing help guides and articles for DecoNetwork, documenting every page, every feature, every setting, and putting that available in a nice help article for people to go online and choose and use. So Mietek, I might pass over to you and give us a bit of an overview and a rundown of what we have in the version 7.5 help.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at some things here. This is our demo site. It's the backend of the system, and as Brenden already mentioned, we've been at the trade show Long Beach in January. Mm-hmm. I can't recall what date that was exactly, but anyway, the show was a great show. Over 15,000 people attended. That's the biggest number as far as I can tell.
Yes.
I've been there like 6 times already. It's a big number for me. I know there are people out there who've been there like 20 times. But but anyway, the biggest show I've ever seen. Awesome. And this big new release, 7.5. Being a DecoNetwork nerd for so many years, dealing with all the habits that I know everything, I know where to find all the options. I had one of wonderful prospects visiting our booth asking me about tax settings. And there's this big black hole in your mind. Where are the tax settings? How can I find it? And I trust universal search. That was an instinct. I did tax settings, and I started praying that I will find the tax settings. And it's not about the help topics. It's not about help topics. Obviously, I improvised. I was very confident. I shown that it was exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't. I wanted to find this option through the menu, as I used to for all those years.
Yeah.
Bad habit. But I just realized I didn't know what it was. So I used the tax settings. And what you can do with the universal search, it is not only showing you all the topics and about the taxes right now, which are great, by the way, but it will actually take you there. So I just click on the current taxes, and I found the page, taxes, current taxes. And by the way, now I know where to find it, because it is showing me on the menu where those current taxes actually are. So this is something quite unique. I don't know if anyone else is doing things the way we do, but imagine this. Right now, when you are in the system, you don't have to learn things. You can just be intuitive in that sense that if you're looking for any setup, just do the search for it. I would tell you even more. Let's say you want to check on the history of one of your customers. I'm going to search for you, Brenden. I'm pretty sure you have like tons of accounts in here.
Yep. I owe a lot of money.
And I'm seeing all of them here. Yes. And you will find all those accounts in here. So you don't have to think, maybe I should go to the Business Hub. And that's perfectly fine. You can go to the Business Hub, click on the customers. But this is just easier, simpler, faster, you name it. And I can click on it, and then I see the history of everything what Mr. Brenden Pratzner did under this account on our demo site. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit afraid of what I'm gonna find here. But you didn't do much, actually.
You probably picked the worst one, yeah.
I'm kind of relieved, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. That's how great the universal search is. And again, if I would do the search for tax settings again, this should give us a soft transition into our new help section. So traditionally, we're using Joomla for storing all of our articles. And that wasn't bad, but let's face it, our documentation wasn't the greatest one. With 7.5, we did one very, very important thing. We said we're not going to release 7.5 until this release is fully documented. And we are proud to announce that we actually did this. Over 300 articles created very carefully, very well. We're thinking about it very carefully for a very long time. Excellent job done by Lee. Excellent job by Adam and the team. So big thanks for the team to work on it so hard to document this in so many details that you can't even imagine. And it's there for you. You can take the full advantage of it. If you don't like it or you have any comments on it, just let us know. We can always improve. There's always room for improvement. But we are very proud of this documentation. The system, our support system right now, we moved everything to Zendesk, which we feel like it's a great platform to support you guys, to assist you guys with everything you do on your day-to-day operations. So it's not only help documentation, but also any tickets that you will raise with us, or if you give us a call, we also create a ticket for that right now to keep record of it, as well as to make it easier for us to follow up with you in case we need to send you some links to one of those articles to assist you with anything that you do.
Yeah.
So great thing, very proud of it, very proud of the team that we were able to accomplish this, along with the entire change of user interface and user experience in version 7.5. I think this will make your experience so much more pleasurable and intuitive. And we heard that already from our clients. So we know for the fact that the response is very positive on that aspect of the DecoNetwork.
Yeah, for sure. And one other thing I'll add to that, Mietek, is in the top toolbar, obviously you're on a page now. So on the tax settings page, for example, you've got that help question mark icon, which will get you direct access to any help articles related to the actual page you're on. So up pops all the information that you need to know, and obviously you're on current taxes, and there's the current tax help article. additional support resources, and what's really awesome now is a list of your previous support tickets that you've raised.
Which is awesome. I mean, how many times did it happen to you, Brenden? I know it happened to me, to ask question, to receive the answer, and then to search my email to find this answer because I asked this question 3 months ago. And now it's just here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just to clarify, this section is actually unique for each page. So if I'm on the taxes page, I will only see the tax articles. And if I will switch and move to payment methods, I should be able to see things about the payment methods. So sometimes, and it happens, sometimes the same term might be used in 2 different case scenarios, maybe on the affiliate store orders and in the business hub orders. Now it is separated, you know exactly that if you're reading this article is specifically about this particular page. Again, I believe that makes life easier.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, what I love the most about what we've done now with the help and universal search is you no longer have to be a complete expert in the system. You don't need to spend months learning every page, every setting, every value, because let's face it, that's not how life works. We're busy. You're running businesses. Your job is to print and embroider, not to be a web application expert. Universal search just gives you that ability to kind of jump in and get the information you need when you need it.
That's absolutely true, and it is the matter. It's a fact. If you're gonna learn something about taxes today and you wanna do it in a week, you're not gonna focus on that. You will not remember. You need it when you need it.
That's right. Yeah, and unless you've got a really annoying local government, you don't actually have to update your taxes too often. So why remember where all those tax settings are? Just go to it when you need to get to it.
That's true. So just by looking at the taxes. Make sure, guys, for every state, we have the tax set up for you. But if you need to add additional county tax, make sure to do it here, and you just add the difference, and that's how it works. And if you need to add some interstate taxes with DecoNetwork, obviously you can do it as well. But this topic and this. The original idea why I mentioned this universal search even today actually brings me back to the original topic of the ISS show. What do you guys think about the ISS show? What was your experience from that perspective?
Yeah, I might actually throw to Eric. I know that was a trip you made over, Eric, and give us your intake.
Oh, yeah. The ISS show was pretty incredible. Honestly, the energy that was there was incredibly high, and people were showing up, and they were definitely not only were they on it, they were ready to see things that they were ready to buy. They were ready to make some decisions. And I think seeing everybody together, especially at the DecoNetwork booth, I was surprised at how well everything was working. Like Mietek said, like the search seemed to be working very well. People were on top of it. The demonstrations were really bringing people around. It was cool. But I mean, in general, the show was just incredibly live. Like there was just an energy that was going on that was bigger and better than anything I'd seen. And honestly, I'm hoping that carries through the year in general for the industry. I'm hoping we see that kind of energy pull through it. And so far, I think it is. So, that excitement, that kind of energy, I want to see that at the next show, I'm hoping we get that in the next kind of outing that we have.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest takeaway I got was the confidence in the market. There's a lot of uncertainty, political uncertainty, economical uncertainty. But what I really saw was a lot of positive vibes, a lot of positive thinking, positive energy, people looking for something new, not necessarily to completely reinvent their business, but something different to make them be a little bit different, to bring them to that next step. And definitely a lot more interest in adopting technology, which I think has been a change in recent years.
Oh, no, absolutely. There was a time when we always looked at embroiderers and said, we're the people who still have floppy disks, which is always the joke. We still have floppy disks. We still haven't moved forward from old technologies. We're building things with parallel ports in them. No, that's always how you look at embroiderers. And I think even embroiderers, which we tend to be the last on the train, we're coming along. So technology is becoming natural. And I mean, it may be a little bit generational, and I kind of stand between a couple generations. I know you're in the same boat as me, Brenden. We're kind of in the same age range. And it's like you kind of get in between those things where I'm fully down to use apps for stuff, but I remember carting floppy disks around very well. But I really do feel like, even the embroiderers who may be some of the last people, they were all on board with new technologies. And honestly, the other thing was that there were conversations going on. There was a lot more interchange, both about technologies and about what we can do in our businesses. And it was interesting to see not only that, but more multimedia, more multi-process, and even if not multi-process, just shops being very familiar with different processes and wanting to integrate them all together. Which, I mean, that's great for us too. That's something that we're interested in, is enabling people to do that. And that was interesting to see. It was just a very free exchange. And you're right. I mean, a lot of positivity, and yeah, adoption of technology was really cool.
I don't know if you know this, Eric, but there are actually, you can still buy the floppy disks, the new one. There are only two groups of people who are buying those floppy disks. One of them are people who are into vintage computers, the old computers, and that's just a hobby for them. And then there's another group of embroiderers. Yeah,
pretty much.
And that's a fact. If you will go on Amazon, you will see the comments from those people, and they're embroiderers and the guys who are into vintage computers.
I know. I remember having discussions with vintage computer guys because they were the first ones who were building floppy disk converters. Like, those are the first guys where they were like homebrew building these things to put USB drives into old floppies. And I was like, man, I have to get on that. I've been tired of floppies longer than most people have used them. So I was ready to convert. But yeah, there's plenty of people out there who are still like, I don't like looking for things in a directory. I just store all my designs on floppies in folders. And I'm like, poor people. Hey, things that work sometimes work for a long time, but yeah, I'm happy to see that people want to change it all.
Yeah, the terrible part of floppies, though, and I experienced this recently. I've got an old Roland D500 keyboard. I got it back in the mid-90s. It runs on a floppy disk. It's a general MIDI keyboard. You save your files on a floppy disk. And I went through like a phase of almost 10 years of just basically not playing. Life got busy. I put the keyboard away. About a year ago or so, I got them out again, found my old floppy disk, put them in, and corrupted. I didn't have any backups of my songs. Everything I wasn't a great, composer or anything, but I just liked making songs. And the little memories I had, and they're gone.
We don't get to have your digital stylings behind the DecoShow. I mean, wouldn't that be perfect right now? Come on.
We should actually. In fact, I think we need that. We should go 8-bit, and Victor would love us for that. So
just chip tunes all day long. What we do apparel decoration and chip tunes. That's it.
Yeah.
Only two reasons.
Our bi-weekly sing-along. So
the good thing, it's probably so old that we don't have to worry about any licenses.
Well, yeah.
Is it?
It's original. It's so old that it's actually cool, because old things become cool eventually. So.
Yes.
We all hope.
That's our last saving grace, right?
I think I might be getting cool.
Yeah, I'm growing a little bit of cool as well on my side. We slowly grow more cool as we get older.
I need Just for Men to fix my cool right now.
Brenden, what else do you have? I believe that you have some more good things to share with us.
Yeah,
now.
Sure do. Yeah, I guess on the topic of where we're going and what we're doing. Obviously, 7.5 is the now and the immediate. But what's been on the horizon, and we've been talking a lot about, of course, is where we're going with version 8. So version 8, I'm sure everyone's aware, but just to give a quick sum up again, version 8 is a complete redesign of our front-end interface. So version 7.5 was all about the back end, making it easy to use Deco, making it easy to set up Deco. And version 8, which was the second part of what was once the same release, is all about the front end, making it easier to build a front-end website, making it easier to design a site without being a graphic designer and without being, more importantly, a web designer. And we've got some really cool stuff that I want to show you. So I'll just click over and launch on my screen. Now, this is a demo site. Ignore the aesthetics, ignore the graphical creation side of it. It's just purely a demo site to kind of test it and see how thing goes. But this is running on version 8. And the great thing about version 8 is we've designed it to be both flexible to use and set up on the front end. But of course, it is mobile responsive. So as you're adjusting things and sliding things around, your site will automatically scale and adjust and respond. And that's one of the really important things, actually. There's a lot of talk around the forums about mobile responsiveness and mobile friendly, and the two are actually really, really different. There's one thing which is mobile friendly, which just simply means that the page will load on a mobile device and it kind of looks okay-ish. Then there's the second part, which is mobile responsive. And that's when the site will go through and completely change and respond to the device. So not only just displays okay, it actually changes its structure and format to present itself nicely in a way that you want to see it. So DecoNetwork's designer has always been mobile friendly since we released it back in 2006. It was never flash based. The difference is it mobile responsive, and does it adjust automatically to suit the screen or the device that you're doing on? And that's what version 8 is all about. But what I do want to quickly give a bit of a preview on is a little bit of what we're working on the back end and how you build and construct a site. So this is the page I've put together. On this page, I've got a couple of what we call sections or panels. My first top section is a hero image that I've created at the top, and places it here at the top of the site. Then below that, I have some product thumbnails, which are showing my blank products at this particular size, showing this particular information. And then below that, I've got another blank product widget, which has larger thumbnails, showing the product name and the product colors. And that's one of the big difference in version 8. In current version 7.5 or 7 of Deco, when you're building a site, you're limited to the number of widgets you can put on a page. So when you create a homepage or a product page, you can put a banner at the top. You can have some HTML raw content where you type up your description and your information. Then you can put a blank product widget, just one. Then you can put a design widget, a decorated product widget, and a handful of other widgets you can do. But when you're designing a site as a website owner, the user's experience is really, really important. Maybe, for example, you've got certain products that are your top sellers. You want them to be shown at the top. So you want to have up the top your, your banner that talks about your company, and then you want to show your top sellers only. So you put your products in a category called top seller. You add a blank product widget, and you hard code that widget to say only show products that are in the top seller category. So they only show there. And then below that, you might want to have something that inspires the customer, like some images that shows you, about the market you target or how you can use the products. And then below that, you might want to have more blank product thumbnails of your less popular product, but you still want them to be on your front homepage. You can't do that today in DecoNetwork because you're limited to one widget, one blank product widget, one design widget, one decorated product widget, and one content widget. But with version 8...
Technically you could, but it will have to be custom code heavily.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah,
it's doable. It's not simple.
You're right. You're right. You're exactly right. It's completely doable if you know CSS and HTML, and that basically excludes 95% of, all of us. We're not all web designers and decorators. So that's why there's some beautiful websites out there in DecoNetwork, and I'll show a few of them in a moment. Actually, just what you can do today in DecoNetwork, but it takes skill and money, I guess, to pay a web developer to do that. What we now let you do is go that step further and do that yourself in a WYSIWYG type environment. What you see is what you get. So I'll give you a quick preview of that. I'm going to click across to my admin section. And keep in mind, this is still in development, so the UI is not what the final UI will be, but this is purely a functional test. And I'll click on Manage of that web store. And then I'll click on Website Pages. And this is where things get really interesting and exciting. And you haven't seen this yet yourself, Mietek. What we now have is a full WYSIWYG what you see, what you get editor, that while you're creating your site, while you're building your site, you're no longer dealing with these magical panels that you move up and down and imagine what it might look like on the front end. You can actually see your website while you're building it live on the site, and also preview it on different type of screens, whether it's a notebook type screen or a normal desktop or an iPad or an iPhone. You can preview it live while you're going through and setting up that as well. And now we'll go through and we'll make a few new changes to the site. So first of all, what I might want to do is insert a new section. So we'll add a new page section, and it comes in down the bottom. And I'm going to go in and edit that section and go into the settings of that. And I want this to be a 3-column section. What that basically means is I want to have 3 panels in this section that I can go through and do stuff with and add new widgets or add new components to it. Now I'm going to go up, and where is my add widget button? We've moved things around a little bit since I looked at it last time. Click add widget. On this section here, I want to add a new widget, and I've got a library of widgets that I can choose from, which we're going to grow over time. So let's say I want to put 3 separate images in each of these sections. I'll go grab the image widget, and this is where it gets really, really exciting. So in the old days, when we were designing a theme or site, it basically came just as a raw shell. In version 8, when we release these themes, each theme will have pre-canned or pre-packaged a whole bunch of images that relate to that theme. So if you're doing a very embroidery-focused website and you pick the embroidery theme, there'll be a whole bunch of stock images and designs built into that theme that you can pick and choose and add to that website. And that will appear here in the theme images section once we get all them built up and done. Of course, you can upload your own images or go grab your own stock designs that you've done. But another really cool thing is we've now got a search the web for images as well. Now, this is searching for images that you have permission to use. So they're an open commons image, free license to use. And my website's based around baseball. So I'll put in baseball as my theme and search for that. And up pops all these baseball images that I can add to my website. So let's go grab this guy here, swinging that baseball thing. Clearly, I'm not a baseball fan. I don't know what I'm talking about with baseball. I add that image to that. And then there's a whole bunch of different settings or effects you can put on that. So there's a rollover effect that you can edit. So I'll go in and edit that. And when you roll over, maybe you want it to change a little bit, or you might want to add a transform effect, and maybe it changes in scale, and maybe it scales up to be 120% when you roll over on that. And we'll click OK. And then we'll click OK. And we've now added that image to the front end of the website. And when I roll over it, it auto scales up that 20%.
Amazing.
Wow.
It's amazing. As a matter of fact, can I make one suggestion? Instead of using the full stop at the end of each sentence, Brenden, just use the word amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Because that's how many amazing things I wanted to say during these presentations already. Just a quick note.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's come along really, really nicely. Now, obviously, aesthetically, we're still working on the way things look and feel. The way the widget pop-ups are going to look different. Still very raw in that sense, and they're the things you do last. At the moment, we're doing all the amazing technical side of things. But I'll go through and just add a few more widgets to that. So we'll add another widget, put another image, again, search for baseball, grab that baseball there, and again, click on my rollover effect. Add a new transition effect. Let's do a rotate just for fun. I have no idea what that does. We'll rotate that by 45 degrees and click OK. And we'll add one last one over this side here. Add a widget. And we'll do another image and do baseball again. We'll do that one. And add another rollover effect. Transition. Do scale again, 120. And then add a filter effect, and we might just make it grayscale when you mouse over as well, because that'll be kind of interesting and different. And click OK. And then save that away. Now, obviously, my images, sizes, and everything's all out of whack. I didn't worry about changing whether it fits or merges or does anything like that, but you can certainly make it so it fills that whole space nice and neat. But just as a basic example, I've got my zoom mouse over, I've got my funky rotate, and I've got my zoom and grayscale. Again, uber simple to change and modify things. Even the way that your panels fit and sit on the page as well can be easily modified. So again, go back to manage, go back to website pages, and bring that down. And as you can see, when I mouse over, I've got these little blue lines. If this image is more important, I want to give that more space, I can just drag that out and change that size as well. And now my panels have rescaled and the image has adjusted as well. So I've got, what is it, maybe a 25, and 50% size panel. Really uber simple, just letting you go through and modify settings as you want it to do. You can change the size of the image, you can make it fit or fill. So crop to aspect ratio, or shrink it or increase it to fit. There's so many different settings you can adjust and change. So that looks a little bit better. Let's go and modify those. Make it be fill. That one's not going to fill. And maybe go in the settings and change the size to be a little bit larger to what it's going to be before. It's just all click and change. But again, you don't need to be a web designer. And I'm just really making some silly settings and changing things around. But if you really sit down and think about your site, the big difference between now and before is we now give you the ability to make those sort of changes without being that web designer yourself, and to get uber flexible and creative as you're going along. So a bit of a teaser and a test.
And no, Uber is not sponsoring this podcast.
No. Having said that, for the first time, we tried Uber Eats. That's pretty good service, actually. $5 delivery. You get your nice Vietnamese soup delivered to your door. Can't go wrong. And that's not an ad. That's just because I tried it. So yeah, super excited.
Get a percentage on that there, Brenden.
This is all great stuff. So great stuff. And what I'm saying amazing, and I'm making all those really bad jokes about using amazing all the time. I'm not trying to be cheesy. Obviously, we're not objective, but I think objectively that really truly shows that we are a technology company, and we really have muscles behind the scenes to run those things. Technologically speaking, you can't really compare what we're doing to anything that is out there. And when you look at it, truly, we are in the vertical market, in that decoration industry as a whole. It's in the vertical market. And what you're seeing here, even if you compare this with all those generic applications, there's really nothing what WordPress would do in this space will make it easier for you than what you can do, what you'll be able to do in version 8, which I think it's awesome. And the one and only one way of accomplishing this in the space in which we are is to really have awesome developers behind the scenes. The one which I'm not afraid to say that are pretty much the best in this industry.
Yeah.
And it's just simple as that.
Well, and from a point of view of somebody who is just so recently building e-commerce sites and working on them, I was rarely in a moment of being completely speechless there for a second. Having not seen this either before, it was good for you to hit that back a second there, Brenden, because you got me. I completely lost my tongue for a minute there. I had nothing to say, but just to watch. I was like, I wish I had that tool right now. I want to play with that now. That is so cool. Especially how easy that went. I mean, you can't ask for more.
Yep. No, for sure. One last thing I do want to quickly show. I mean, what I showed was you still have to put a little bit of thought into, do I want an image here or do I want an image there? But there's common patterns you see on websites. Those patterns can be that there's an image with some text running below it, or you might have 3 images with 3 bits of text sitting underneath it. And we're building those into Deco as well. We're calling them marketing widgets at the moment. But a great example of that is I'll go through and I'll get rid of some of these placeholder images I've placed on my site here. I'll just go delete that. And I'll delete that one. And I'll come through and bring that section back to being just a single full width section. So it's nice and big. And then I'll come in here and add a widget. And I'll put the pre-formatted text and images widget. And this will be a library again that will grow. So maybe I want to have 3 images with text above in 3 columns. Or maybe I want 1 image with text above. We'll build a whole different selection of panel templates that you can pick from. And I'll just grab this one here and I'll add it to the site. Try that again. Again, this is early stuff. Add widget, 3 panel widget, 3 panel, wait for it to load. Maybe it's not going to give me some fun. Too soon, as they say, too soon. Yeah, it looks like it's not going to load. Well, anyway, like I said, this is still work in progress, but this gives you a really clear indication of where we're going. So not only can you simply build basic image or add it to it, but we're going to give you these library of pre-formatted widgets you can go on, add to your site, and make the changes yourself, which would have literally taken a whole bunch of custom HTML and CSS to do.
That pretty much shows you that yes, we are humans after all, and B, this podcast is not scripted.
No, and we do want to share more of this early stuff. Early means it can break. Early means it's not polished. But a big change of what we're doing is sharing stuff early to get early feedback, because ultimately it's what you guys want, which is what we want to develop. So,
well, that's something else about me being here, guys, is that I'm also a voice from the industry, and if there's things that you think only another industry person is going to understand, I'm here to listen to those too and to help communicate those to the team. So, not that they don't understand it, they do. But if they need any sort of help on the weird kind of jargon stuff we do, I'm here to help with that too. So I'm looking for your feedback, everybody.
Yep, absolutely. Please go and find Mr. Erich and share with him all your ideas. Part of the show.
Any part of the day, just everything you can say. I'm here. Believe me. People get surprised how quickly. Sometimes they're not expecting that response, and then I'm right on top of them. Say something that gets me excited. I'll be right there with you.
Yeah, and you know what? It's often simple, little, tiny ideas that make a huge difference. I'll give you one real good example of that. I know we want to try to keep this show nice and short. We always end up talking for hours, and people have to sit there and listen to us for hours. But one of the really good examples, if I can just quickly try to find it on our forum, and it's often the little things that make a huge difference. Number of garments in production. So this was a post put on the forum by info@shirtdesigns.dk. And it was just such a simple little thing. He said, look, you know what? I love the fact that you got Business Hub, and I love the fact that you show me, where is it? Post image. And you show me the number of orders you've got on the site. But reality, this number of orders doesn't actually tell me how much work I have to do. Right? I might have one order, but that one order might contain 1,000 garments. So that's a huge difference between, am I going to get out by 2 p.m. or am I going to get it out by Thursday next week? Because I've got so many orders to do. So a simple little change that this client recommended through that image that they uploaded was show us how many items are on it. So then we've come back with some suggestions and feedback that, well, what we can maybe do is create this little mouse over that when you mouse over it, we show you, how many, I'll show my screen, might help. We have this little mouse over that shows, how many orders are in that particular area. So in production, we've got 26 items that need to be DTG'd, 425 items that need screen printing, 32 items that need embroidered, which makes a total of 483 items, but only 8 orders. So 8 looks really tiny, but 483 is a serious chunk of work. So that's a really good example of just a simple idea that someone threw out, and it's going to turn into a feature. And I'll probably also explain as well that features sometimes can seem relatively simple, but are quite technically difficult. Other things might seem quite technically difficult, but can be rather simple to do. So you might tend to see things like this just thrown in during random releases before we do a big thing like version 8. It's not that it's taking away from version 8. We've obviously got different developers that focus on different areas of the software, but little things like this make a huge difference to how people use it and get value from the system. Cool feature.
Very cool.
Alrighty. Yeah, Mietek.
No, I just wanted to mention that we actually have the ideas page for it. So you guys can raise any ideas, and it's not there just to be there. And as a matter of fact, our project manager, Greg, is looking into it actively, almost on the daily basis. And it's fact. No promises. There never can be any promises. But in 2016, we implemented close to 100 of those ideas into a system. That is a fact. So 100 out of those ideas are actually available right now in the system.
Yep. In fact, a lot of them we have to go back and update. We often forget to go back and say we've done it. We spend too long doing it and don't say we've done it.
Happens.
So, part of life. All right. A few final tips. So Mietek obviously covered a bit of universal search in his final tip, and I want to share a quick tip, which I think is a great flexible way of using DecoNetwork, and something a lot of clients still ask but possibly aren't aware that is sitting there in the back end. And it's a feature that we call our freeform line item. So I'm going to click over to my Business Hub, and there's Mr. Erich on our new dashboard announcement. See you everywhere, Erich. Everywhere we go, we see you.
Sorry, everybody. Even in the back end of your site, it's still there.
Well, this is my first tip. The latest news you'll find on your new welcome screen in version 7.5. Go check that out. But my real tip is when I go through, create either a quote or an order. Sometimes it's fairly common. I shouldn't say sometimes, it's fairly frequent that a client comes in and they want to get a product done that you don't normally do, or you haven't got set up in your system, or it might be a one-off and you never will do again. and you don't want to go to the hassle of building a custom product in DecoNetwork just to do that, well, that's where a free-form line item is perfect for that. So when you select on a quote or an order, obviously you can select your customer, but then below that you've got different type of products you can add to the system. You've got add a new product, add a free-form line item, add a previously ordered product, which means they've returned and they want to basically reorder what they had before. Load the design or add a extra charge. And this free-form line item, if you tick that on, it adds a brand new line item and basically gives you free text fields to type whatever you want. So the product description might be a happy day shirt. Maybe that's what they call it, and you're never going to sell it again, but that customer wants that shirt. And then what color is it coming in? It's coming in white. But what we also allow, even though it's free form, we still kind of handle the idea of color by size. So I can tick on my size chart, and the customer has given me 5 of those, 2 of those, and 1 of those. So maybe this, for example, might be a customer supplied shirt. So you don't want to go through build a brand new product for that. You're just calling it the happy day shirt, maybe customer supplied, whatever it might be. Customer supplied in white. But then while you're there, perhaps the size isn't listed what you've got here. You don't have to go into your backend and configure a brand new size. You can define a new size on the fly, and you can call it a 3HL for whatever reason. 3HL. I've still got 5 AM fingers. And click OK. So you can define them on the fly as you go along as well, which is nice and easy to do. You still got the same capability that you've got. If you don't need sizes, you can disable that completely and just do quantities. So we give that flexibility for both. But once you've defined all those, you click OK. You can put a description of where the design might be. So maybe printing on front body. And you can also do a unit price for that. So maybe you might want to charge them just a one-off of $15 per item for each one of those. And even though it's a free form line item, if you click on this little cog here, you can still upload and attach files as well. So I can attach a file, grab a new file, and I'll grab a photograph of my 2 daughters, and I'll attach that. And then you can say where that design will be visible on. It'll be visible on the order PDF and will be available in production for my team to download as well. And I'll actually call it the production print file. So it's not a full designed configured product because I don't want to spend my time going through doing that. It's a very simple, easy to create line item that gives you the flexibility to call it what you want to do, give it a color, use size and quantity if you want, and of course description, price, and attach files, and all the other features are there as well, adding discounts and everything else that you normally do. But it's just a real flexible way to add a product, again, without having to go through the hassle of manually building and configure that product in your back end of Deco. And that's my tip for the show. Pretty cool one.
Very cool.
Great tip. Highly demanded option.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. All right. We did say we wanted to try to keep it under half an hour. Mietek was going to be the timekeeper for this one, but as always, Mietek,
I'm really better at it.
I didn't try
You're
real hard.
fired. It's always good information and always good to do the show.
Awesome.
But I think we should call it a wrap.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Australia. Thank you,
Yes.
Brenden.
No, thanks, guys. Thanks, Eric. Welcome aboard, Eric. Awesome to have you on board, and look forward to more Deco shows.
Well, happy to be here, and everybody out there, you'll be seeing me again. Not like you're not seeing me enough right now.
Yep. All righty. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Deco Show. Have a great day.
See ya.
Cheers.